Well, welcome. Oh, holy smokes, that's loud.
I'm a bit crackly, but that might just be my headphones.
Good morning, folks. We best start off with some introductions. My name is The Fingerprints.
And my name is Willowmina.
We are sitting trackside on track number 1, bringing you the Division 2 3v4, I believe.
Yes, the consolation final for Division 2.
And we have lined up the Auckland Roller Derby League and the Convict City Roller Derby League.
Yeah, so we have a team from New Zealand and one from Hobart, Tasmania.
And it looks like we are away straight away, and taking up the line straight away for the Auckland Roller Derby League is Heartbreaker Baker.
Yeah, Heartbreaker Baker and Slamazon, I believe, for Convict City.
I had the inside information that Slamazon is an absolute jamming machine this weekend, just racking up points left, right and centre for her team. And Convict City, they will be looking at trying to keep that to an absolute minimum in this bout this morning.
Yeah, I have seen a few Convict City bouts this weekend. Both these teams actually in the same pool as my own home league, so I have been commentating these bouts all weekend.
I thank the Derby Lords for that, because after the 14 billion that I've seen, I have yet to see either of these two teams. So just getting fresh eyes on these ladies for the first time for me. And meanwhile, a star pass has been handed over to Smith. That's a name I'm pretty sure I've pronounced correctly.
Yeah, that one is not so hard to pronounce.
Meanwhile, Slamazon is just racking up these points.
Yeah, that's 9 so far in the jam for Convict City and Slamazon.
And another 5-point pass for Slamazon, as Smith is just getting held up in the pack of orange and white. They're just recycling around her, just waterfalling that tripod, keeping her at bay.
Heartbreaker Baker sent to the penalty bin. Missed what that was for, but I'm sure she deserved it.
We never, ever question our officials.
Absolutely not.
Unless it's an official review.
Unless it's an official review.
And Ellen Mackenzie, taking the line for Auckland on this second crack around, and Vanessa Shredgrave.
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 Shreds is the name on her shirt. Keep your eye on Ellen Mackenzie, because if you don't, you will miss her. She is quick. She is known to her teammates and her fans as the slippery fish.
And as promised by Willowmina, she has taken the inside line without too much resistance and gets that lead jam status. Not too far behind is Vanessa Shredgrave. Shredgrave makes no sense to me at all, so Shred is clearly the correct pronunciation. And I will do my absolute best to not make an idiot of myself furthermore in this bout.
That's okay, because I'm about to try some Maori pronunciation. Ellen Mackenzie there, one of the representatives for Team Aotearoa at the Roller Derby World Cup earlier this year. That is the New Zealand rep squad there. So she skated for them over in wherever it was, America this time, Europe, London, somewhere. It was somewhere, and she skated for Team Aotearoa.
And unfortunately, I blinked and missed her get that lead.
Absolutely, that is what will happen with the slippery fish. Ellen Mackenzie, jamming superstar for Auckland Roller Derby Bolts.
Hot on her tail, Slamazon. Let's have a quick look at jam refs here. Just a 1-0 pass
like
there.
A sneaky point before Ellen Mackenzie could call off the jam there.
And just like a cricket umpire indicating that you are out, the 1 point being awarded to Convict City there. And we can see taking the line now is Heartbreaker Baker. I think she's done her very best to just annoy commentators worldwide with that name.
Heartbreaker Baker. Yeah, it's not the easiest to pronounce.
but she's made it easy to get through to that lead jam set. And look at the smile on her face. She's happy with that. She is stoked to be out there in front, but not too far behind is Vanessa Shredgrave, backing it up.
Yeah, Shreds has had a great tournament as well, racking up lots of points for Convict City.
And I'll leave the score updates to you because I have a cameraman sitting in front of me.
Right, I do have eyes on the score. I can see that we have 16 to Convict City and 11 to the Bolts. So only a 5-point difference at this point in the game. That is nothing in a game of roller derby.
And Slamazon taking up duties up against Ellen Mackenzie. One more time, she is monstered into the inside track by Orange 73. Slamazon just brutalizing her way through that pack at the back. Now they take the low route to keep her at bay. She's going to try and attempt the inside line, goes back to the outside, gets up on one skate and successfully maneuvers her way through that pack to obtain lead status.
No, that's a scoring pass and 5 points, I think.
You are correct. Nothing like making a mockery early on in the bout.
That's okay.
Thank you, Wilhelmina, for correcting me early on.
At least you used to be a ref, that's correct?
Yeah, that's correct.
So maybe it's nice to be able to correct you now. Could never correct you before. Not that I was ever a skater in your league, but it can be a little bit hard sometimes to keep track of what pass the jammer is on.
It's a difficult job, that jam reffing gig. There's a lot of opinions come your way at the end of every jam. Meanwhile, we have Heartbreaker Baker doing her absolute best to get through, but being a wall of Blocktopus and the Chuggernaut there.
Oh, big hit on Shreds there from number 1902. Who is that?
That is Pyroclastic Flow.
Pyroclastic Flow, yeah, big hit from her.
Doing the damage there. She's just trying to mess with our heads, having an orange helmet out there when her opposition team are wearing orange. Just trying to play some shenanigans with us and probably the opposition as well. Meanwhile, Heartbreaker Baker takes that inside line, gets through, unable to get to the back of the pack to grab any cheeky points before the jam is called off.
Shreds being recycled, as we call it in roller derby, taken all the way back by the opposition blockers and deciding to call off the jam.
Slamazon and Ellen Mackenzie taking the line. There is about an 18-foot size differentiation between these two, giving both blocking packs a little bit of thinking ability to how to take this on. They cramp up to the jammer line, giving them no space at all to sneak up. And the inside line is taken by Ellen Mackenzie.
Yeah, slips on through there, as she is wont to do.
The pack is moving at a generous pace there. And Ellen Mackenzie gets through with that 4-point pass as Slamazon is recycled back to the back of that pack. Takes the outside line and gets through. A 4-point pass for her.
For those of you playing at home who aren't quite sure what we mean when we say recycling, if you are knocked out during a game of roller derby, you must come in behind the player who hit you out. If they skate backwards around the track, you still need to come in behind them, so they can skate up to 20 feet behind the main pack of skaters in order to try and make your life a little bit more difficult when you are returning to the track.
So far, so good for these skaters. It hasn't been a mass of lineups heading into the penalty box at this early stage.
No, we have had fairly clean play. Having said that, the pivot for Convict City, they're heading into the penalty bin. That looks like a Chuggernaut.
And it is the commentator's curse that as soon as we say something, the skaters like to do the absolute polar opposite just to make an absolute mockery of us. And just as we say that everyone's behaving themselves, the Chuggernaut has a little sit down and think about her actions.
I have been told that in this tournament it's been nicknamed the reflection section.
Yes, I've heard that as well.
Take a seat and think about what you did. Sounds like a very zen way to approach getting a penalty. So I like it.
Oh, a huge hit there taken by Ellen McKenzie. That has been dished out by Smiley Virus.
Yeah, not a lot of body mass to Ellen McKenzie. She does get down low, and it's not easy to knock her over, but if you do, she does go flying because there's not a lot to her. But she is through for lead jammer, regardless of having a bit of a tumble.
When she hits the deck, she bounces straight back up, though. I'd be admitting myself into some form of hospital emergency department if I copped a hit like that, but Ellen McKenzie just straight back up and into it again. Slamazon, meanwhile, just takes the aerial route around that blocking pack.
And that is 4 points apiece in this jam so far.
Pack decides to pick up a bit of pace, much to the dismay of any outside pack ref that's trying to keep up. And Jam is struggling to get there. We'll have a quick look, and a late little stack down there. Blue 2-5, that's Blocktopus having a little sniff of the concrete on corner number 3. After a weekend of roller derby, I wouldn't be going nowhere near this floor. Yeah, God knows how many viruses are living down there. And the opportunity here for someone from the Auckland camp to have a little chat to the officials. Maybe just letting them know what he's seeing, asking them to keep a cheeky little eye on. Meanwhile, Baker is out there taking that inside line, gets the lead away from Shreds, I believe it is out there.
It does, yes, that is Vanessa Shredgrave, and not very far behind Baker as lead jammer.
Takes the hit at the back of the pack, calls it off early.
And yes, a sneaky point from Vanessa Shredgrave, and 2 points for Baker from Auckland Roller Derby.
And Mackenzie taking her usual position back onto the jammer line. And up against
Hornet Harriet.
Hornet Harriet.
A new member in this rep team from Convict City, I'm told by their bench staff, although it looks like she is going back to take a seat and a different jammer might be heading out there. Do we have a team timeout?
I'm not sure what's going on out there, but looks like Shreds is taking over jammer duties regardless. The Zebras have taken up their usual position in the middle of the track, just a quick hydration break.
I believe I can see the jam timer just making the T signal. It's the short little jam timer body bagger out there, I believe, so it's a little hard to see the jam timer. But there is a team timeout to
Convict
the
City, I
Convict
think.
City team. So the Convict City team, nicknamed the Orange Thunder, I believe. Aptly named. Very nice orange jerseys out there today.
I'm suitably impressed by their jammer and pivot covers. A nice glittery orange. That's really catching my eye. And I am a glitter expert. I'll give you the hot tip at home. And we have Shreds and Ellen McKenzie now taking up their duties as jammers. Almost taking an eternity to get this jam underway. I pity those poor quads out there just quivering.
There is a 5-second call from the jam timer though, and we are back on with the derby action.
Giddy up Gertie is just taking Ellen McKenzie to the outside line, just making an absolute pest of herself. And a huge one-on-one hit there with KO. But Ellen McKenzie just bounces off and says, I'll continue on my way, thank you very much.
Yeah, she is through. She is your lead jammer, and Vanessa Shredgrave not very far behind. So some sneaky points for the Convict City jammer there.
That's what we call the hit it and quit it. They hit the back of the pack, grab a couple of quick points, and then quit it before the opposition jammer can join her back there and grab any points of their own.
Once again, I'm going to have to correct you there, Fingers, because Ellen McKenzie was the lead jammer and called it off hitting the back of the pack, but Shredgrave passed a downed skater from Auckland and picked up her point as well as the pivot point. There is a pivot in the penalty bin and therefore picked herself up 2 points for the price of 1 before Auckland could score any points.
And showing my absolute unprofessionalism, I will donate every cent I earn from the TGSS Boutcasting to any volunteer network that we can think of, which comes up to the grand total of $0.
Yeah, I think you should donate triple what you're being paid, to be perfectly honest, Prince.
And a huge little aerial route there, an attempt of the jump of the apex has paid off for Shreds. She is going to claim that 4 points as she takes it over the apex of corner 1.
Harriet, actually. That is Hornet Harrier. Fingerprints having a great game today. That's okay. We all make mistakes. We are merely human. You're no longer a ref, so you are merely human.
We make mistakes. It just so happens that I'm making an absolute crapload of them this morning. Needless to say, I'll just keep a closer eye on Baker and just call that business, because she is getting absolutely worked on the outside there. That tripod being controlled by Blocktopus at the very top of it. Now joining in is one more. Blocker helping out. Looks like the Chuggernaut. But Baker takes the inside line. She has expelled a lot of energy to try and get through that pack.
I think she had some offensive help there from Venus Thigh Trap.
She sure did, and with a little shimmy go straight back to that familiar position of working her way at the back of that pack.
This is going to be confusing for me, actually. I've just come from a game where we had Venus Thigh Slap, and now we have Venus Thigh Trap.
Well, if you're confused, then we are in a world of hurt, because I'm just ballsing up at an astronomical rate. If you're listening at home, the 3 people maybe tuned in, I'd hit that mute button as quickly as possible and just keep your eye on the track.
I could just mute you. I do have the power.
Yeah, that's probably the more favoured option here. And it looks as though the officials have called this timeout here, which gives them a little opportunity just to suck in those big ones and regather their composure. Have a little chat between themselves. Make sure that everyone's A-OK with what's happening out there. Having a chat between each other and just saying, well, you seeing what I'm seeing? And also bench staff the opportunity to have a quick chat with their skaters.
Looks like a late penalty has been delivered to Hornet Harrier. That means she will start the next jam in the penalty box and hand a power start to Ellen McKenzie. So not a position that Convict City want to be in, with their jammer in the box and the slippery fish on track. Ellen McKenzie for Auckland Roller Derby League.
And if there is one person that you do not want to give this power of jam advantage to, it is Ellen McKenzie.
Absolutely not.
Holy smokes, folks. A big hit there by KO. She sends her to the outside. Recycled all the way back by Slammers on, who also gives a little touch up on the outside. But the inside line is taken. And we've got a zebra down. And failing to give any kind of zebra happy hands at the end of it. Well, hopefully we'll keep an eye on that at the end of this jam. See if it gives us any jazz hands for the $1 fine. Thankfully, we're not live to the audience here, because there is usually a $1 bounty on any zebra down. I can give you that inside tip.
Ah, I see.
But we cannot be held responsible for any of those actions, because the skaters and refs cannot hear us.
Does that make any skater who takes down a ref like a poacher? because they've killed a zebra. So it's like hunting in a safari park in Africa.
Oh, yeah. I never really thought of it in that kind of brutality kind of way that your brain thinks, but...
That's because I'm a skater and I play roller derby.
Oh, dang, now you'll be just racking up the dollar coins next bout, I'm sure. I've let it slip to a skater. Oh, my apologies to everyone wearing black and white out there. The secret is out, folks.
Don't worry, I'm still out injured, so there will be no poaching from this skater of zebras at this point in time.
Looks like Smith is going to take over some jammer duties here up against Shreds.
Yeah, a bit of a switch up in the jammer lineup from the Auckland Roller Derby League.
Skater's actually taking a line at right up there at the pivot, giving the jammers a little bit of room to gather a bit of speed up before they hit the back of that pack.
And we have actually had a lead change at some point in this game. We now have the Auckland Roller Derby Bolts out in front on 54. From our position, it is a little bit hard to see the scoreboard, but we will try and read that out to you.
Blocktopus has been released from the penalty box. And meanwhile, Shreds has taken the lead jam position here. And it looks like that Blue 76, which is Resident Evil, has caught the attentions of the referees. And she's going to have a little sit down and think about her misdemeanors. And a big hit there from Shreds on her own player, which has cascaded into an opposition blocker, creating a bit of space. She takes the outside line, gets through with a no pass, no penalty sign, dished out by her jam ref. And Smith approaching the front of that pack there. We have the Juggernaut doing her very best to keep her at bay.
I did have a question last night about what is a no pass, no penalty. For those of you playing at home, it is when a skater does not legally pass an opponent. However, they don't illegally pass them either. They don't pick up their point, but they don't get a penalty either. So it could be that the skater who knocked you out of bounds either fell down or also went out of bounds. So you've lost the ability when they do that to pass them legally, but you don't get a penalty because it's not passing them illegally either.
And like music to my ears, a skater that actually knows the rules is just like a referee's wet dream, that she knows what she's talking about, and that fills my heart with pride.
Oh, thanks, Fingers.
Hey, no sweat at all. I'm going to dish out every little bit of positive vibes to you that I can, Wilhelmina, because you are literally carrying this commentary team on your shoulders alone.
Well, that's not good because I have a bad back.
Well, if you've got a bad back, you should be sneaking over towards one of our sponsors, Physio Fit. They're dishing out free physio this long weekend.
Free? Is it?
No, I absolutely could have made that up.
They are giving out, well, they are giving massages and physio to any skater who maybe needs some injury support during this time. They are the official physiotherapy to the Adelaide Roller Derby League.
Yes,
and
they sure are. That's why maybe it's free. That's why I'm getting confused, because Quack is my friend and he's going to give me free stuff.
Well, that's fair. Maybe he's giving free treatment to Adelaides and Radelaides, but anyone else has to pay a small fee for some physio attention.
I got no idea, but please do not go over there and say Fingers says it's free, because then he'll just come over and smash me in my face, which then will require more physio treatment from him. Anyway, we're back to the roller derby. The absolute dribble rolling out of my mouth is actually going to be filled up with some actual colour commentary here and some play-by-play stuff. And Mackenzie and Slamazon got their duties on. And as they hit that pack, Slamazon just using brute force to get through, and successful in her attempt as well.
Ellen Mackenzie there doing the old turn sideways, disappear and slip through the opposition blockers. Very different jamming styles here. We have tall, solidly built, powerful jammer from Convict City next to the small and slippery Ellen McKenzie. So it's nice to see different styles of jamming. Requires different styles of blocking then from their opponents, and it makes for great roller derby.
And I can tell you, this is fact, because I only like to deal in facts, Wilhelmina, and a fact is that Ellen McKenzie can do things on skates that I can't even do in shoes. Her feet are so damn quick that they just blur in front of my eyes. Meanwhile, Baker's doing her very best to just go to the inside, to the outside, to the inside, to the outside. Takes to the inside line, and it is completely corridor free for her. And look at that smile. She is happy with herself. Self-appreciation.
Is a big grin. And Shreds with the serious face on as she comes around to try and pick up some points. Oh!
A call-off made by...
No.
Baker out there.
No, she's trying to call it off, but...
She thought she'd called it off just in the nick of time, but a huge hit there. Taking the hit as pyroclastic flow. Shreds just absolutely annihilated her, but she got up, just dusted off and ready to go one more time. Good little piece of blocking at the back there by that blue blocker. I can't just quite see a number on there. Needless to say, it was fantastic and impressed me the most. There we go. It is blue 13, Alabama Hurley. She's dishing out the hurt to Shreds at this stage. She's recycled her twice this jam.
And Baker back on the track, having served a penalty. I didn't quite catch what it was. It wasn't a hand signal that I'm familiar with.
No, nor
there
I.
are some new hand signals out there as of a few months ago that some of us are still catching up with, especially those of us like me who've been injured for about 6 months and haven't played under the new hand signals.
And also those of like me that really have no idea. Meanwhile, Baker, she's going to hit the back of that pack. And Chuggernaut has just taken the hit. She just thought, I'll take that and keep on moving on through.
That hand signal, I do know, that is a back block that has been issued to Benedicta.
Even though we've had the occasional skater in the box, for a bronze medal position, everyone's behaving themselves quite nicely out there. I'm super impressed so far that there's been nothing too outrageous going on. And it looks like we have some form of timeout, but with a whole pack of skaters, I can't see what that jam timeout. It looks like we've got the finger on the shoulder action.
That makes it an official timeout. Maybe we should get the jam timer a box or some stilts.
Yeah, some kind of step ladder. If anyone has a step ladder handy, please report to jam timer duties. Not that this is all about us.
Not at all.
And as you may hear through our microphones, got DJ duties is all day today is misinformed. She is going to keep the crowd happy with her mediocre music library, and that is giving it the best props that I could possibly dish out.
Yeah, the TGSS Great Southern Slam is known really for its daggy music and possibly even daggier dancing, although we have some pretty sweet moves by a junior over there in the danger zone, and some rather fluoro leg warmers by the looks of things.
She is giving me a good run of money for the most outrageous color-coordinated outfit of the day,
and some serious hairography there, I have to say.
Yeah, that's somewhere where I am sadly lacking. I am just lacking a little bit on top. Let me just point it out that that's by choice, folks. Just want to make that very clear.
I saw a bench coach the other day whose name was Luscious Locks, and he was in a very similar follicular state. So, to you, Fingers. So I enjoyed the irony of that situation.
Well, I bet that he was just as handsome as well.
Absolutely.
Meanwhile, we are back on, and Ellen McKenzie.
Yeah, shoots through, finding that inside line. Also finding the inside line is Slamazon.
Little battle between these two.
Yeah,
They're almost matching up.
You could almost call it a David and Goliath battle in terms of the size difference. Oh, we have a zebra down, crawling across the track.
I think word's got out. Yeah, you got some spies out there just letting the skaters know. Damn it, folks.
No, I just saw them. I didn't quite know what happened, whether they fell or crawled across the track. Bad juju there, giving some crawling action though.
She come up smiling though.
That's what's important. Everyone's having fun. Baker there with a big smile on her face as she takes the star for the Auckland Roller Derby Bolts.
And shreds her opposing jammer. And Baker just getting held up there by Chuggernaut, and the pack is now kind of decimated and giving her the opportunity to try and find a little gap to get through, but they have reformed just in time and tripoding and waterfalling all the way around. And meanwhile, Shreds has found her way through.
Picks up lead jammer for Convict City.
There's whistles going, but I can just see a wall of black NSOs and black and white zebra stripes.
There is a Convict City blocker heading to the bin. That is Deva Death Roll.
And the blocking packs have come to a standstill and called off.
Well, it looks like we had a star pass there as well, with Smith taking the star from Baker, but not scoring any points for the Bolts. The Convict City Orange Thunder do look like they have taken back the lead. Yes, they have. 88 now playing 68.
It's still anyone's bout at this early stage. That is just one power jam away from getting back straight into this.
And once again, we have Ellen McKenzie taking on Slamazon.
Big hit to the inside. I think that Blocktopus thought that she got her out, but recycled back, but no way. Ellen McKenzie, do not doubt her abilities to stay inside these lines. And Slamazon just working her way through the entire pack. She's not lead, but she is first out.
Picking up only 3 points there, not passing all skaters legally. 4 points for Ellen McKenzie as they come around for another scoring pass. Ellen McKenzie calling it off before anyone else can pick up any points.
That was a good call off, a smart little call off there, just as Slamazon was approaching the back of that pack. Shred's now taking the line with Baker. And this complete pack, I think we've got an empty box. Yes, we do. It's 8 blockers out on track, which are going to do their absolute best to minimise any kind of easy access for these jammers.
Yeah, Baker taking on Vanessa Shredgrave once again. Super tight pack happening here.
Looks like KO is... no, that's not KO. In fact, that is Pyroclastic Flow has caught the attention of the officials. She has got a little sit down. Meanwhile, always been... Smith has recycled the jammer all the way back to the pack, giving Baker the opportunity to get out and score some points, but it's been called off early.
And it looked like Vanessa Shredgrave there picking up lead jammer, but being recycled and deciding that was all a bit too hard, and so calling off the jam. Turning off the jam, that's not a thing.
We talk good. It also could have been the fact that she was actually positioned right in front of her team box and just couldn't be asked doing another lap of the track and said, I'll just call this sucker off here, thanks.
I have seen that happen on more than one occasion, going, well, if I call it off here, I don't have as far to go before I get to sit down.
Oh, wow, in a rare feat here, we've got Ellen McKenzie being actually held up at the back of this pack. And Slamazon getting a full lap advantage here. She's into her scoring pass, goes outside to inside, gets a full 5 points.
Yeah, powering her way through there for a natural Grand Slam. About to become unnatural Grand Slam by the looks of things, because Ellen McKenzie now will sit a 30-second penalty for
I believe that might have
something.
been for a multiplayer offence there. And Slam is going to take every opportunity here that she can to rack up some valuable points for the Convict City girls, and takes a huge hit on the outside line, and she is brought to an absolute standstill. Whistles but going, and taking that hit is going to be Venus Thigh Trap. I reckon she's going to sit down and go worth every second, because she took an end to that scoring bonanza of Slammers on out there. She cools off. Woo, she's sucking in the big ones there. She racked up some points there.
Yeah, that's a 19-point jam for Slamazon and Convict City.
That seems to push that lead out to 110 to 72 now. Folks, I've never done any form of tertiary studies, so without a calculator, I'm not even going to attempt to work out the differentials in that. Wilhelmina, I'm going to put you right on the spot here. What is the score difference that we have here? And
38.
Wow!
You gave me a little bit of time there, I'm not going to lie.
I
Matt's
did my very best to pad that out as far as I could. Woo! A 38 difference in score here.
Yeah, math's not necessarily my strong suit either, but doing what I can.
No, maths and roller derby commentary also not one of my strong suits, which is clearly obvious at the moment.
And yet someone put a microphone in your hand, Pants. You're not Pants. I have been commentating with Pants all weekend, but you are Fingers.
Yeah, but I am wearing pants, so, you know, I can see where you can get mixed up there.
Absolutely. Very, very confusing.
No, I appreciate everything that come by, Pants. I mean, Wilhelmina.
We have an official review at the moment.
And for those that may not know what an official review means, I'm going to hand this over to you, Wilhelmina. You can explain exactly what an official review is all about.
Every so often, the teams may disagree with a call that is made or not made by the officials. They can question that call once per half, and if they are successful in that review, they get one more per period. So they can ask the refs to review a call they have made or ask for a call to be made on a skater. So perhaps they think a penalty occurred that wasn't called, or else they think a penalty that was called might have been an erroneous call. Don't have any details as to what that official review was all about.
No, I think it might have just been used as a bit of a timeout tactic. I didn't see anyone, any bench crew go in and have a chat to any of the officials. So
that is also an option, as we are down to the last minute of this half. The teams can use their official review as an extra timeout if they haven't used it at this point in the game.
Meanwhile, Shreds is out there. She has the lead and absolutely whizzing on that inside line. Ellen McKenzie just picked up 4 points because she was just hitting it at absolute lightning speed.
Almost looked like she skated under some of those skaters.
It was, right. She was kind of like hovering above that concrete floor and just zoomed past. And just a 3 or 4 point pass there.
I'd say 3. It was 7 for the jam for Convict City. So if there was 4 in the first instance, then another 3, perhaps.
See, you told me that maths wasn't your strong suit, and now you're just ripping out additions like nobody's business. Meanwhile, Baker doing her absolute hardest to try and get through the pack, but Slamazon has jagged that lead position and bang into the back of that pack with force and power, and just monsters her way through for a 5-point pass, while Baker is just being held up beautifully by the orange blockers. They one by one have one more crack at her, and Slamazon takes the inside line to pick up another Grand Slam point for herself. We are into our final jam of this first half.
And that's 2 points for Slamazon and 1 sneaky point at the end there for Baker. That will take us to half-time, and that is a 15-minute half-time. 129 points is what Convict City are currently sitting on, to 77 for the Auckland Roller Derby League.
Now, if you're game, please rejoin us after this intermission break, and we will make a feeble attempt at being better on the second half. Let's make that promise, right?
Well, speak for yourself. You can try and improve, but I'm already awesome, so...
There's no improvement on excellent, that's for damn right, but I'll speak on behalf of myself and just absolutely drag myself into some kind of average form and see if I can pick the pace up in the second half. Please stick around, folks. We are not done by yet, and this is anyone's bout. All right, we are back, folks.
Yeah, 30 seconds to go until play resumes, according to the scoreboard clock anyway.
We obey everything that scoreboard clock says.
Absolutely.
That is the be-all and end-all of what we abide by here on track. And instantly taking the line is the formidable duo of Baker and Slamazon. Some kind of, that was the 30-second whistle.
It was the 30-second whistle there from the jam timer.
And all of a sudden we're straight down to 5 seconds and we are back into the second half now. Both jammers take the inside and outside line. And both successful in getting through too.
But it is Slamazon who has the lead jammer position. She is out of the pack first.
That is a fast pack and Slamazon calls it off. Let's see what the jam refs have to say about this.
Looks like it might be 4 points for Auckland unless there is a finger being held down that I can't see. 2 points for Convict City. Yes, the scoreboard confirms to me that that is 4 points to the Auckland Roller Derby Bolts, with just 2 points to the Orange Thunder.
Now Shreds and Ellen McKenzie taking up duties here. Both venture out towards the outside line as Shreds gets the better of it there and instantly claims the lead jam. Meanwhile, Ellen McKenzie still having a little bit of trouble. She manages to get through now. Not before Shred just on her toe stops on the outside line, just hops her way through. Skating backwards just to show off a little bit. And now Shreds, as she gets past, I'm just going to give her a nod of approval because that skating backwards cool off has impressed me most well. Good job, Shreds.
Yeah, I think just turning around to have a look at her teammates and her bench, getting the confirmation that yes, I should call off the jam, and so she does. Always much easier to get that communication happening if you can see who you're communicating with.
She made it look super easy. I can tell you that that is not a super easy thing to do. Ooh. And Baker, she takes the aerial route. I'm not sure how that's even physically possible to jump over a straight line of the track, but she has managed to do it.
I know a few skaters who can pull it off, but they are few and far between, and I'm not even sure how the physics of that works. They've tried to teach me, and I mostly just look at them and raise my eyebrows.
She may be from Auckland, but that was Sally Pearson-esque, and she should be trotting straight down to the New Zealand Institute of Sport and saying, hey, if you need a hurdler, Baker's your gal. Dang. If she had aimed to come out and impress someone today, she has impressed me, Baker. Woo! That is job well done. Now Ellen McKenzie taking up the line with Shreds one more time. Blockers taking a little spot up at the pivot line. And now
racing back towards the jammers to start. And once again, Ellen McKenzie finding herself caught behind the hips of Juggernaut. Just getting through there, ducking under by the looks of things. It is Vanessa Shredgrave with lead jammer position, picking up 1 point before calling off the jam. That's one way to get it done.
I think they've finally worked out that Ellen McKenzie is going to hit those packs at absolute serious speed. So they've got to call it off just that 1 millisecond earlier just to make sure she doesn't pinch a couple as she hits the back of the pack. And successful that time is the universal fist pump to the ceiling by the jam ref, indicating that she didn't get past any opposition blockers before that was called off. Now Slamazon and Baker back out on track. Looks like we had Smiley Virus taking Baker to the outside line. KO cops a little bit of her own business. pops her way back in.
Baker with a sneaky star stash to get through. Oh, and a lovely hockey stop there in front of her team bench.
I reckon she knows that this is where the cameras are set up and just wants to put on a bit of a show for the folks at home. And just like me, I'm sure everyone checking us out on the World Wide Web will be super impressed with her skates out there as well.
And don't forget that you can catch all of the Derby final action on Channel 44. If you are watching this on Channel 44, you probably already know that. But all of the finals action today from Track 1 at the Great Southern Slam coming to you on Channel 44 today.
Hang on a minute. You're trying to tell me that we're on the telly right now?
Maybe not right now.
Well, when they're watching it, it's right now, right?
Yes.
Oh, my Lord. Somehow there must have been some kind of miscommunication that they are putting my voice and mug on television. That is a serious lack of judgment by whoever made that call.
That would be Count the Bumps. You can take it up with her.
She once, Count the Bumps, former friend of mine.
Former friend. Harsh. I believe yesterday someone called you the king and queen of the Great Southern Slam. Is that correct?
Well, we do have a little bit of a royal theme going on because, you know, if you're a count...
A count and a prince,
yeah,
yes.
And everyone's forgotten about the shining royal couple of Meghan and Harry, and Count the Bumps and myself have taken that crown. Meanwhile, Slammer's on. She is making an absolute mincemeat of these blockers as she hits and... inside line, boom. It takes two opposition blockers to bring her to a halt.
One of them hits the deck and loses the mouth guard by the looks of things.
Just something went flying there. Someone's going to claim it, but if that mouth guard hit that ground, I'd be getting some bleach out of the team box to clean that. And maybe even bleach might not do the job that it's meant to do on that. It's day 3 of TGSS stuff. And the inside line taken there by Shreds. Vanessa Shredgrave. She has been so dynamic this second half.
Yeah, this whole tournament, her jamming has just been non-stop and super duper consistent for Convict City.
She doesn't even look puffed, which just makes me feel like more of a couch potato than I actually was feeling beforehand, because I'm feeling more exhausted just calling her name, and I'm literally sitting on a padded chair while she's out there actually doing the business.
Yeah, absolutely. We have a switch up in the jammer lineup for Convict City with Demonica Dynamite now taking the star. She will be jamming for the team from Hobart, and Baker once again jamming for Auckland. Baker trying to use one of her teammates just to pull herself around the inside, but not quite there.
And where has she been hiding this whole time? She gets the lead status, just looking over to her bench and saying, see, I can do this jamming business. And just as I say that, she just lays flat down out on the track and rethinks that thought process.
And it looks like Baker has passed the start to, I'm going to go with Smith.
That
it is normally
yes. Smith. You have pronounced that correctly. Smith has the pandy. And meanwhile, Demonica Dynamite is just launching herself around the track and saying, I'll call this one off. Straight into her bench. It says yes. Former blocker, now jammer, Demonica Dynamite. I'm hoping she gets another crack at it. Giving Slammers on probably some much needed rest time, because she has had her lion's share of duties with that star on her helmet. Yeah,
two very prolific jammers out on that jammer line now, probably getting a little bit tired. We are down to nearly the last 20 minutes of this half.
Slammers on, just using pure force to get through the front of that tripod. successful in her attempt as she gains that lead jam. Well, Ellen McKenzie working hard. She has got blocker after her. Gets past them eventually.
Yeah, Blocktip was trying to stop her, and Ellen McKenzie just bouncing off, which is always fun to see. People bouncing off blockers rather than going down.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll have a quick score check in between jams here.
Yeah, we have the Orange Thunder on 162 points, up against 90 points for the Auckland Roller Derby Bolts.
We've got a good feeling that Auckland will be racking up those triple digits in no time at all, especially with this Baker taking the line. And a discussion at half-time, we were just wondering if Baker may be an actual Baker.
Yeah, not sure if her surname is Baker or if she makes cupcakes for a living.
Yeah, right. Now, I'm really hoping that she's an actual Baker, because if that's the case, on my next trip down to Auckland, I'll be paying her a visit and just tipping my imaginary cap to her for her skating abilities and, more than likely, baking abilities as well. And in saying all that, if she is not a Baker, then we are looking like a pair of turds sitting here wasting time talking about it.
Well, yeah, we do have a team timeout though, so we are just trying to do some gabbering on to fill in some time. And we, despite being live on YouTube at the moment, we can't see any comment feeds. So if you are trying to tell us whether it is a name or a profession, we can't see that, so we won't find out till later, and we'll just keep sitting here looking like morons, basically.
I am so glad that we can't see the comment sections, because that may just ruin me for life. The instant messaging service that YouTube provide is a really good means of communication. However, I found it a good motto of mine to never read the comments.
Fair enough. A little bit of confusion there. We had two jammers and two pivots on the track for Auckland, but they both got off in time for the jam to start, so...
Could have been a little bit of shenanigans just to keep the zebras on their hooves.
Keep the zebras on their hooves, keep the Orange Thunder on their toe stops. And it is Vanessa Shredgrave out for lead jammer for the Orange Thunder. And Baker having passed the star once again to Smith.
And yes, you have pronounced that correctly for the 18th time today. Smith has the star on her helmet. She approaches the top of that straight. She is met straight away by Smiley Virus. And Shreds has caught the attention of her jam ref for a forearm penalty. She's going to sit down, but Smith is going to take a seat with her.
Yes,
means
Smith has picked up a cut track penalty, so we have a jammer switch out. For those of you playing at home not familiar with the jargon, jammers who get penalties at the same time only sit as long as the previous jammer.
Have a zebra down again. That bounty that you placed on their head earlier on has just paid off for the third time this bout.
I'll have enough for a cup of coffee by the end of this. Oh, maybe not at showgrounds, not at event prices, but maybe the day is young.
Correct. There's plenty more bouts to come. Stay tuned in. And finally, there's a little bit of action in front of us with Smith taking on KO at the front of the pack, and lets her pass. And Shreds hot on her sphincter to try and catch up with her. A little bit of crowd support to get these jammers that little bit of 5% more energy out of them.
Yeah, but because both of them went to the penalty bin, there's no lead jammer in this one, so they will have to go out the full 2 minutes, which is just about to be whistled. No one can call it off, so 2 minutes it is. 14 points in that jam for the Orange Thunder, 7 for the Auckland Roller Derby Bolts.
We are almost halfway through this second half. Isn't the time just flying past?
It absolutely is. I'm not sure if the time is flying because I'm having fun or because I'm so exhausted after 2.5 days of roller derby commentating.
I'm going with fun.
Sure, fun it is. This would be the 12th game I have commentated this weekend.
Yeah, I'm not sure what my number's up to, but it's well beyond my limits. And I woke up this morning in a little place called Struggle Town and managed to drag myself out of that community. And down here it's at 9 bells to call the action on track 1.
Yeah, I woke up to a really deserted town called Empty Coffee Pot, which was quite disappointing. Thankfully, during my game on track 2, someone very kindly brought me a caffeinated beverage.
Excellent. In the meantime, Ellen McKenzie has managed to get back into her mojo, getting the lead jam status there. And she's racking up some points immediately while Slamazon trying her very best to get through. She's met up with Pyroclastic Flow and Smith trying to get the business done there. Resident Evil also out there in that blocking crew, keeping that scoring to a minimum by Slamazon.
Yeah, Mackenzie there picking up an additional 3 points before calling off the jam. So taking the Auckland Roller Derby Bolts out to triple figures with that jam, out to 104. Plays 180 for the Orange Thunder from Convict City.
We have a gradual build-up of crowd on the inside track 1 here. Eager to see the bronze medal winners here. Still anyone's game at this stage.
Absolutely. Bronze medal game for
Division 2.
Division 2. Now, over there, we have some bench coaching from... Is that Lady Trample?
It certainly looks like Lady Trample to me. She's dishing out the orders for one of the teams out there. I couldn't imagine who it could be. The kind of relationship that the VDR might have with Auckland or Convicts.
I think you'll find that a Lady Trample is also a Team Aotearoa skater and therefore is probably helping bench her native New Zealand team.
Good one. See, that's why you bring in the big bucks to this commentary team.
Absolutely. They pay me triple what they pay everybody else because I am a Lady Trample fangirl.
Got it. And as I looked over, I just saw a VDRL All-Star just lassoing, and that was what my immediate thought. But the skater in you...
Well, it is Hoedown Day here at the Great Southern Slam.
Correct.
So...
that was the segue that I was looking for, and you picked up on it like a true professional. Wilhelmina absolutely taking the bait.
Yeah, there's some lovely flannel action happening out there today. Some nice hats, bandanas, everybody gearing up for the after party, but there is plenty of derby still to come before we can get our hoedown on later this evening.
And a big hit in the pack there. Not a jammer in sight, so it is simply blocker on blocker, while Slamazon and Ella McKenzie are on the opposite side of this fast-moving pack. And Ella McKenzie gets round almost all the way, and Slamazon!
Yeah, Slamazon keeping on going, trying to get that last Convict City blocker out of the penalty bin. She could call it off, but would prefer to have more blockers on the track to try and stop the slippery fish Ellen McKenzie from Auckland Roller Derby Bolts.
And Slamazon just had a little lay down on the track, and whilst she was down there, she decided to call it off. And a great little piece of sportsmanship there where whomever it was that launched her backwards onto the track helped her up. And a little cheeky little hug and smiled afterwards, saying, even though I smashed you to the deck, we are still great buddies.
Yeah, and just a 1 point advantage in that jam, with 8 points going to the Orange Thunder and 7 to the Auckland Roller Derby Bolts. As we have Smith out jamming for the Bolts now, and
that's Hornet Harriet.
Hornet Harrier, I think. I think that's what Bianca Schiaretta, their wonderful bench coach, told me.
We'll just go with Harry. That could be the best option for either of us.
Actually, it looks like Lady Trample is coaching Convict City, or else she's just given everyone a bit of support and echoing those bench calls from the sidelines. Who knows?
And the reason why Lady Trample would be trackside is straight after this bout we have the VDRL All-Stars.
VRDL, I think you'll find.
My God.
VDRL is the Van Diemen Roller Derby League, and they are the other team from Tasmania that we have here.
Let's go with the Victorian All-Stars. We'll be taking on the MVPs of Division 1 in a bit of an exhibition bout. So
Absolutely.
keep tuned in for that one.
VRDL currently still number 1 in the world, I think, so...
Hey, if you say it, it must be true.
I don't know, I'm just making stuff up now. No, that's not true. I know they have been world number 1. I assume they still are. I haven't heard differently. Ellen McKenzie now taking a seat in the penalty box, which is the last thing Auckland Roller Derby Bolts need right now. With Vanessa Shredgrave on track to rack up some more points for the Orange Thunder.
Now the pack has come to an absolute standstill on corner 3, giving us the best possible chance of calling this action.
Yeah, Deva Deathroll going to take a seat in the penalty box. Vanessa Shredgrave trying to push her way past this very solid defense of Auckland Roller Derby blockers, but she is past for 5 more points to her. But Ellen McKenzie shoots around the outside. Those Orange Thunder blockers did not even see her coming, I don't think.
And not to be outdone, Shreds takes the exact same line with the exact same outcome.
Absolutely, very similar move there from Vanessa Shredgrave.
And as the penalty box seems to unload, more skaters hitting the track. And even after copping a massive blow, Ellen McKenzie keeps on her skates.
Yeah, not much choice until Vanessa Shredgrave decides to call off the jam, which she does. Good timing there by me. 3 points to the Orange Thunder. Taking the jam total to 14 for Convict City and 12 for Auckland Roller Derby Bolts. And a total of... No, my mistake, 17 points in that jam. There was a little bit of a delayed call there. So 216, the score for Convict City, and 123 for the Auckland Roller Derby Bolts.
And my cries out to the Convict City Roller Derby League bench have been answered, with Demonica Dynamite getting another crack at jammer duties. She's lined up against Smith, I believe. So both jammers having a good go at it, but just met with an absolute wall. And with that...
your favourite Demonica Dynamite, though, picking up a forearms penalty and taking a seat in the reflection section.
Smith, on the other hand, is going to take full advantage of a power jam situation.
Absolutely. She has lead jam position and she has a power jam. She will be wanting to close up this gap between these teams a little bit.
Yeah, power jam is exactly what these girls need. They want to cash in now, but look at these blockers just doing an absolute number. Alabama Hurley doing the business and recycling Smith all the way to the back of that pack. Still being an absolute pest. Regathering her composure to get involved, taking on Smith one more time, but she's able to get the inside line and a 5-point pass. Smith.
This game, of course, between two WFDA ranked teams. That is the World Women's Flat Track Derby Association. My apologies. So these teams not just playing for bronze medal, but I believe this would be sanctioned play and it will count towards their rankings in the international ranking system. So not just the winner counts, but also the points differential. So even if it looks like one team can't quite do the business and finish off for the win, they can still do something to improve their WFDA ranking.
And it certainly looks as though from their rankings that very, very closely ranked with Auckland ranked at 189 and Convict City at 171.
That's really not a very big difference when it comes to roller derby. So
probably a good chance to have a quick score check here. We have a team timeout, do we? I think it's a team no, official timeout.
It's an official timeout. And score check, we have the Convict City Orange Thunder on 220 points and the Auckland Roller Derby Bolts on 128.
And just shy of 8 minutes left of this bout. Ellen McKenzie and Slammers on, they are ready to go. A little bit of dancing action out on track. They're just sassing it down the straight. That is something that I'm digging. Chuggernaut, she is most impressed with Slammers on joining in.
Love a good timeout dance party.
And bringing that to a sudden halt is a jam timer. And so a 2-on-2 blocker advantage. There should be plenty of gaps for these jammers to slip through with the assistance of their blockers.
Yeah, oh, big tumbles there on the...
Straight into sass.
Someone picking up a low block penalty there, I think.
Might have got it, but they have to wait till the penalty box is cleared.
Yeah, waiting until there is some space for them.
While Ellen McKenzie is the lead jammer here, Slamazon has made her way through. Took a little bit of damage on the way. She'll shake off those effects, I'm sure.
I'm actually looking around, seeing quite a bit of crowd benching going on. I think teams are just helping out. We've got Dynamite over there, we've got Lady Trample, and we've got someone else, all doing the lasso finger, which is a nice mirroring the benches. And maybe they're not actually affiliated with any team, they're just helping out. It can be difficult when you're on the far side of the track to communicate with your bench, so they're just giving a hand to the bench staff. And that is 4 points for Slamazon and the Convict City Orange Thunder.
Slamazon took a big hit from Sass there, but was able to stay inside that outside line. Gee, that doesn't make much sense, does it? Oh, my Lord.
Inside that outside line makes sense to me. Ellen McKenzie doing the spin around, stick your butt out to pick up some points there before calling off the jam. Picking herself up 16 points in that jam to 12 points for the Convict City Skaters.
So with 6 minutes and change left to the end of this bout, we have the opportunity for officials to converge together, have a little bit of a chat on what they're seeing, and also skaters at the top of the pivot line having a little bit of a chat. I can only assume that they are discussing their favourite commentary team of the day, and Wilhelmina would be at the top of that list.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say,
doubt.
Fingers.
Other than that, I'm assuming they could be just swapping their favourite scone recipes, which there is no way I'll be giving up my family secret to that.
The secret is lemonade. Everybody knows that.
Oh, my nana is going to have your guts for garters. I tell you, that is a family secret from my side from way back. Secret out. You are just dishing out every little bit of secret that I've given you.
There's no secret anymore. It's on the internet.
Oh, my Lord.
And it is Baker jamming for the Bolts. And she has lead jammer over Hornet Harrier for the Convict City Orange Thunder.
And this pack is not going to give them any free pass. They are hitting it at a very fierce pace. KO decided to get involved.
Once again with the spin and the little butt wiggle. Not sure if we've got any points. Just conferring with the outside pack ref there to work out. No points. So style points for the butt wiggle, but no actual points there for Baker. Meanwhile, Harry there picking up 2 points.
And Ellen McKenzie and Shreds taking their position at jammer line. Just squashed into the inside line by both packs.
Yes.
The Zebras absolutely quaking in their skates.
Super dense pack and super dense defensive blocking.
Resident Evil just smashes Shreds to the outside, recycling her back. Out there to help out is Venus Thigh Trap. And Smith also involved.
And the 2 whistles means that it is Shreds with lead jammer position as Ellen McKenzie charges headlong into that wall of orange at the front of the pack. She is out now.
And a call off by Shreds, knowing that Ellen McKenzie was on her way. And a quick changeover of crews. At this time of the bout, this time of the weekend, really feeling the effects of multiple bouts over multiple days.
Yeah, spare a thought for your referees skating probably up to 5 games a day. And they skate every single jam. They don't get a break, not like the skaters. They have the benefit of not being hit quite as much, but still exhausting for anyone on skates refereeing.
Yeah, without those guys and gals, it is just a really, really expensive disco skate. So our hearts go out to those guys and girls. And looks as though my favourite buddy out there, the Demonica Dynamite, getting the biscuits here as she takes lead jam. And a little bit of friendly fire perhaps there. Takes a little stack, calls it off in time. But I think that she has given enough there for her bench crew to go, yeah, I reckon she does all right. Give her one more crack, surely. Slammers on now, taking the line with Ellen McKenzie. And we have a 2-on-4 pack advantage, I think, to Convict City. No. My feeble attempt at trying to go a little early has backfired, and it's an actual 3-on-3 pack. I made a feeble promise at halftime that I would do better, and failing dismally at that promise. Slammers on, meanwhile, cops a penalty. He has a little sit down for a cut track, giving Ellen McKenzie the opportunity with a pirouette over the apex. Just showing us her skills with skates.
Yeah, making it look easy there as she dips around and picks up some more points for the bolts.
Absolute effortless.
Her skating style is really effortless, and I can tell you that she is skating super fast. It might look like she's relaxing there, but she is skating super fast, goes around the outside, but gets knocked out by Blocktopus.
Recycled to the back of the pack. Meanwhile, Slamazon has taken her position up back on track after serving her 30-second penalty, and she is having a hard time of it at the front with KO. No, that was Pyroclastic Flow, my apologies. And Ellen McKenzie's had enough of that. Slamming into her own friends. Is Slamazon just couldn't hit those skids quick enough. No harm done.
Now, make no mistake, those of you at home may be seeing roller derby for the first time. This is very much real action. These women train hard and they play hard, and many of them hit even harder. All of the thrills and spills you're seeing are totally real. There's no rehearsals other than lots and lots of training involved here. Don't let the spangly outfits and funny names fool you. These girls are incredible athletes. Coming here all the way from New Zealand in the case of the Auckland Roller Derby League.
Yeah, both teams travelling over the seas to get here to the Great Southern Slam. And we have Hornet Harriet. She's racked up 4 points for her team, while Smith battling it out at the front of the pack against Giddy Up Gertie. Gets through, and Smiley Virus has a little sit down some penalty that she's racked up. Meanwhile, both jammers getting absolutely worked over and recycled all the way back by both sets of blockers.
Yeah, Shred's having a sit down there, getting... Oh, no, not Shred's, my mistake. That is Harry. She gets up and calls off the jam. That is the end of the game. Now, if you thought that was a fast-paced, hard-hitting game, you ain't seen nothing yet. This is Division 2, and it is the bronze medal playoff. So stick around, because there will be Division 1 bronze medal playoff, as well as Division 3, 2, and 1 grand finals coming your way shortly from this track. So your bronze medal winners for Division 2 of the Great Southern Slam 2018 will be the Convict City Orange Thunder, finishing the game on 248 points to 164 for the Auckland Roller Derby League Bolts.
Thanks for tuning in, folks, and on behalf of myself, Inga Prince and Wilhelmina, please don't go too far. Keep tuned in to this YouTube channel. Plenty more derby to come today.
If you are watching on Channel 44, don't touch that dial. More derby action coming your way shortly.